Hello, I'm Hannah from Hannah Books and Beauty, and today I have a huge haul. I'll show you the books. There is so many to get through, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, but I put them in this box and they are so tightly packed that they're just stuck in there. I'm going to do it in 4 parts, this haul, so I'm going to do it books that I've borrowed, books that I got sent from publishers. I've only got a few books that I got off Amazon, and then the rest of the books are books that I got from charity shops. So first up, I'll show you the 2 books that I borrowed. I borrowed Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale, and from what I can gather, this is about women have to breed, and then when they can no longer breed, they get taken out and killed. But I don't know if it's women have to breed or just like a set group of women, or if it's all women. This sounds very intriguing, so I borrowed that. I also borrowed Stephen King's Dr. Sleep, which is like the sequel to The Shining, and it's basically, I don't know anything about The Shining, that's why I'm not going into detail. So yeah, I'm excited to read that. That is a lot of people's favourite Stephen King, so that's what excites me about that. I'll show you now the books that I got off Amazon. I only got 3. I got The Exorcist by William Peter Blately, which is, you know, the Exorcist films. This is the original book. I'm sure everyone knows what, like, about possession and exorcist, and this is basically a story of that. I then got this very interesting one. This is A Doll's House is a Play by Henrik Ibsen. Put it forward so you can see it. This is basically about a woman who decides that she doesn't want to be just a wife and a mother, and it's about her deciding what she's going to do, if she's going to leave her family and stuff like that. And the reason it's called Doll's House is because when you open up a doll's house, every room like is perfect, and all the little doll's house people look perfect, and that's what people looking into her life probably see, as they see in a lot of people's, but behind it there's its troubles. So that's what that one is about. I then got this one, Madame Bovary. I'm so excited to read this. This is by Gustave Flaubert. This is the edition, the Oxford World Classics, which I really like. I don't know why I like these books, I just do. This is basically about a woman who reads loads of romance novels and all these idyllic versions of being married. She then gets married to a very boring doctor. And in them days, like, women couldn't have jobs. They were wives and mothers, and that was it. And then she decides it's so boring being a wife, she has a load of affairs. Madame Bovary. I'm just very excited to read this one. So there are all the books I got off Amazon. I'll show you now the ones that I got sent from publishers. These aren't ones that I said I wanted or anything like that. They were just ones that were kind of sent to me. So I don't know if I'm going to read all of these. Start with this one. This book is actually, I love the production on it. It's like peeling paper and then barbed wire over it. This looks like a book that should be read. It's just such a substantial book. But anyway, this is a trilogy. This is the 3rd book. I haven't read any of the other books. This is basically about all the men have been killed, and now all the boys are going to be killed, like, in the world, and we don't know why, and that's what this book's about. I'm sure if you've read the trilogy you'd know more, like, why they're going to be killed. I then got this one, which I predict is going to be a future hit in the literature world. This reminds me a lot of Burial Rites. This is called Wolf Winter, and it's about, they find a dead body, and the children come back, find a dead body, and no one really knows who this man is who's dead. And the woman, there's a woman in it, her husband's gone off. It's very vague, like, description of this. But anyway, her husband's not there for some reason. And so she decides she's going to find out who this dead man is, because she's very worried for her children. You know, people are turning up dead. She needs to find out who this man is. And everyone says, oh, it was just a wolf attack, but his injuries don't look like that of a wolf attack. And then she finds the people who knew him, and nobody cares that he's dead. And she has to find out why. This reminds me so much of Burial Rites. Just the whole feel of it, and just the whole, like, look of it just reminds me of Burial Rites, 100%. So I think that would be a future hit. I then got Jill Manson. I didn't request this. 3 Amazing Things. That was really rude. I didn't request this. 3 Amazing Things About You. And this is basically about 3 different women. This is very chick lit, Jill Manson. She deals with very sort of soft subjects. I thought, oh, maybe I'll give it a go. And then in the inside, like, press release, it said, if fans of Cecilia Ahern. I hate Cecilia Ahern. She wrote the Hidden Cottage, which is an awful book. It's just boring. And so, but I like the production, bright pink, and then white and like gold spine. Can you see the gold spine? Can you see it? Can you see the gold spine? Oh, you can see it a little bit. But yeah, I like the production value on this. I don't know if I will actually read it. Then got, what are you? Oh, You're Afraid. Sounds very intriguing. This is by Mansay Heller. This is about a young girl whose mum does something. She's 15, the girl. Her mum does something and she gets taken into care. She then goes to like children's home and she hates it there. And she doesn't know like who to turn to. But she's been chatting to this girl online for a long time and they've become best friends. But they've never met in real life. And she decides she's going to run away to the girl's house. But is the girl all that she seems? Sounds exciting. So I'll definitely read that. Also got sent Sweet Nothing Stories. This is by Richard Lang. This looks very intriguing as well. It's a series of short stories, I believe, set on the dark side of Los Angeles. So that's what that's about. Then got Lillian on Life by Alison Jean Lester, and I did request this. This is about a woman who wakes up one day next to her partner and she looks back on her life and it's not what she thought her life would be. I don't know if that's in a negative or a positive way, and she's a very unconventional woman, and it's about how people wanted her to be a certain way as a woman, and she's very well travelled. This book is set in, which makes it seem very stylish, Munich, Paris, London and New York, and it's just about all of that kind of thing. It's a brutally honest portrait of a woman living through post-war decades, and yeah, it's how she dealt with that and what people wanted her to be as a woman. It seems very good. I think it's going to be very emotional though, but I'm excited for that one. Then got, last but not least, a bit of erotic fiction. Never read erotic fiction. This is called About Draw, a play-by-play novel. I don't even know what that means. And it's by Jackie Burton. She's a New York Times bestselling author, and it's got a very sweaty chap on the front. Makes me feel uncomfortable just looking at this. It's about a woman who works at, I'm guessing is that baseball? She works at baseball or whatever, and she falls in love with this sweaty little chap. I don't think it's love, I think it's lust, and it's that kind of, I don't know if the storyline's that important in erotic fiction. Tell me what you think, because I've never read one. I don't know if it's a bit like we don't really need a story. But I feel uncomfortable. Now moving on to the books that I bought myself from various charity shops. We'll start with this one. Oh, this one is by V.C. Andrews and it's called The End of a Rainbow. It's about a girl called Summer who, she turns 16 and everything that she thought the world would be, it's not. Something devastating happens and it's about whether she makes it through that. I love these kind of books. Look how like cool that looks, that front cover. It looks like a horror film. Like a really old school cheesy horror film, but I'm excited to read this. This is also a series. This is called the Hodgson series. This is book 4, but yeah, this is an ex-library copy, that's why it's so big. I then got C.S. Lewis, Surprised by Joy. Now C.S. Lewis did The Chronicles of Narnia, that's what he did, and this is about him writing about his own life. So it's an autobiography, but the reviews of this say it's more like him writing about his own spirituality. Because when he was a child he was Christian and he stopped being a Christian for some reason, and then when he was an adult he found spirituality again, and it's about how that happened. So I'm excited to know what it's about because of that. It's very small as well. He obviously didn't, it's not like, you know, big celebrity autobiographies that we get which are huge and then people bring out my biography too. Like he just sort of wrote this small little thing, which I think that's very interesting, and also I really like C.S. Lewis's writing. Then got this, which is Nanny McPhee, but it's not really. Nanny McPhee, everyone will know, is the Universal film with Colin Firth in it. But Nanny McPhee was originally based on a book series called The Tales of Nurse Matilda. And I think it's going to be very similar to Mary Poppins by P.R. Travis, which I absolutely love. Just that kind of wicked character, because Nanny McPhee is a character who is considered ugly, and then as the children start behaving themselves more, her ugliness goes. So she has like a mole, the mole goes, and her nose straightens, and then by the end she's beautiful. And then she has to leave them, like Mary Poppins, and go and help another family. And this is just a collected tales from that. I also really like the illustrations. This is by, Christina Brand, who wrote it, and it's illustrated by Edward Ardizon, I'm guessing. But it's very similar sketches to two Mary Poppins. That kind of sketch, old school style, which I really like. So I'm excited to read that. This is the movie, like, copy version, but I really like the back. Just looks really oldie woldy, but I'm excited to read that. The pile I feel is going to fall over, like it's coming to shot now. It's getting a bit much. I then got this book, which seems incredible. This is called Hannah's Suitcase, and it's a true story. Basically, this seems like a very complicated story, but it's not. So a lady in Tokyo who opened a Holocaust museum receives a suitcase. On the suitcase it says Hannah Brady, and it has the German word for orphan on the case. No one knows where the suitcase comes from, so the Tokyo woman decides that she is going to track down who Hannah Brady was and find out about this person's life and what the hell happened. That's the story. And then someone called Karen Levine wrote up the story and made it into this book. This book is also filled with many pictures throughout. This is a picture of Hannah on the front cover, so she did find out. And yeah, it's just about her sort of finding it. It sounds complicated because she didn't write the book. So the lady that found Hannah didn't write the book. Someone called Karen Levine did. So yeah, but this seems a very intriguing book. I can't wait to read it and then do a review on it. It seems like it's going to be a very complicated storyline, but I don't think it is. I like this poem, that's what it's called, edited by K Webb. It's just various people have written poems, and they're for children, but they've also got the age. So as you can see there, it says 13 years old, and then all these poems sort of for 13-year-olds, and then you find another page that says 14 years old. And that's how the whole thing, you know, goes. It starts at 6 and 7. And I'll read out some people who are in it. Who we got? We got Lewis Carroll, we got Anne Bronte, we got Robert Browning, T.S. Eliot, Roald Dahl, loads of famous people. Their poems that have been considered suitable for children are in here, but it doesn't mean they're for like children specifically, because a lot of these I've started reading are actually just extracts from novels, so they're not actually poems, but I think it'll still be a good book. I then got a little bit of historical fiction because I really loved The Girl with the Pearl Earring. That's one of my favourite books by Tracy Chevalier. I really love it, and so I wanted to get something else like that. This is The Tudor Princess by Darcy Bonnett, and this is a story of Margaret Tudor. Margaret Tudor is basically Henry VIII's daughter. Margaret Tudor married a man who had loads of affairs, and it's about her life. And also she was very overshadowed by Henry VIII because everyone knew that he wanted a son, not really a daughter, and it said that he didn't really spend much time with her and stuff like that. I then got Music of a Distant Drum by Walter Winward, and this is about the Cameron family. They're living in Malaya as part of a colonial existence. Basically, what that means in basic terms is that the English used to go over to different countries. We used to go to India and Africa, and we just take a bit of land and say, oh, we're going to live here now, and take land from people and not let, you know, local people come into our part of the land. And so this happened all around the world, and this one is set in Malaya, and the Japanese invasion comes in and people say, you know, we want our land back, you can't have it. This is a children's book, so yeah, I'm excited to see what that would be like. And then last but not least, I got Agatha Christie's Halloween Party. Look how cool that cover is. This is a Hercule Poirot ones. I think everyone knows Agatha Christie wrote crime novels. An au pair goes missing and then loads of people start dying, and Hercule Poirot has to find out what happened. I love that one. So these are all the books from my book haul. The book haul is over. Tell me if you've read any of these books, or if there's any of these books that you think look very interesting. Personally for me, I'm not going to be able to get it out now, I think Hannah's Suitcase is going to be such a stunning book and a really special book. I feel like it's something I'm going to read and love, so I'm really excited for that. But I am excited for all these books. Tell me if you have any, or you read any, or you got any opinions on them, and I will see you soon for another video. I'll try and like end the video like this, and I'll see you very soon. And also thank you for everyone who has subscribed to my channel.
Oh no.